Hi there, I'm Scott Beazley from Mitchell Brandtman, just wanting to speak to you today about collaboration through technology, the technology we use at Mitchell Brandtman. So I'd like to kind of put forward the idea that this is give and give back, so that idea of being able to share information. Just to get started, interesting to see a range of people in the audience here, architects and engineers, some contractors, some clients as well. So hopefully you'll be able to see that what I talk about covers areas of interest for you as well. A little bit about me, who am I? Well, I'm an architect by background. I work part-time at Mitchell Brandtman, quantity surveying firm, and I also work part-time at QUT. So I mix the academic and the industry side of things. I also have been involved in Building Smart for many years, and I'm on the Brisbane committee here in Brisbane, which brings together industry and the university. So it's quite a good forum. I think one of the main things I'd like to talk about is that the building industry is not really good at dealing with information, and over the years I'm sure that we've all experienced that sort of thing. And also the tension of the way that we actually work together. Divergent ways of working and convergent. So architects generally are divergent in their thinking in terms of trying to explore ideas, whereas other people are probably more convergent, looking for a solution to a problem that's been addressed. And I think in this sense, the value of productivity that comes through technology helps to solve some of these things. And I'll show some of those in this talk this afternoon. Just a couple of things about the use of technology improving collaboration. Here's an image of an old style phone. Probably some of you in the audience have never seen anything quite like this, but for someone of my age, having a rotary phone was sort of something where it was kind of high technology back in the day. As compared to, say, a mobile phone that people use now. How many people here have got a mobile phone in their pocket? Interesting, isn't it, that it's now everyone in the industry has something like that, which can do all those things that a rotary phone could do, but so many more things. So the productivity that gained from doing that, we can not just sort of talk to people, but we can send and receive messages. We can find our way by using maps. We can then find the place where we should be meeting up with someone, or even buying some flowers or chocolates for those important people in our lives. So here we have some technology we can use in a whole range of new ways. Also, I think another part of the industry is that some examples from the automotive industry, that they use technology for prototyping. So in this case, that they, rather than just sort of building one car, they would build many test cases along the way. So graphically they can use it. They then test it in a wind tunnel using models, and then shaping it to full size, and then building the full thing. So in this case, being able to sort of prototype things is really quite important. We haven't had that opportunity in the building industry. Technology that exists now, we do have that possibility. Another issue we face with collaboration is that, as in this case here, with a football side, that it's as though that every project we run, like every game or every week a football side is playing, that they change the players around, they mix up different people. And so that break in the way that people work together is something which is endemic to our industry. So technology now, we have ways of being able to solve some of that. So at Mitchell Brandtman, here is a diagram of how we actually start using some information. So in this case, as you can see, that traditionally we used to just receive the output of a program like Revit and put it straight into Costex. Now we have the opportunity of, and we use the capabilities of IFC exports from Bentley and Graphisoft programs. The advantage for us is that straight away we can get access to a lot more data that we need in the collaboration context. So you can see here that the Costex receives information via DWFX and also via IFC And then we can also use model checking software, which helps to identify issues that crop up in the coordination of information in this collaboration process. Some information that we can't get access to via the normal methods, we can actually use Solibri Model Checker to export out and to put into Costex. So we have ways of getting at data. So this is really quite important, because really what we're all after is having timely data which is going to be of some use for us. So how's this of benefit for people like you? Well, in this case here, it's from a project we worked on in 2013 and 2014, Sunshine Coast University Hospital. Very large project where we had models from architects using different programs. And so we were able to access information from Revit files and also ArchiCAD files. But at one stage when we spoke to the architects using ArchiCAD, there was data not coming across into Costex. So what we were able to do was to go back to them and say, well, we can't get access to these, or we need this information. And they said, well, it's in our model, but we found out that it was not exported via IFC. So they were able to go back to Graphisoft in Hungary and to be able to get an extra property set added where those parameters were actually exported properly. So we were able to kind of get timely data by digging just a little bit deeper. Also, we use Solibri Model Checker for doing forensic analysis of the models. So in this case here, you can see where it will check for objects that aren't fully formed. So we're able to check to see if things meet or not. It's important to be able to check for things that clash, but also for things that don't meet as well. Here is another case of collaboration of finding and sorting data. Here is a file that an IFC export from ArchiCAD, and it looks like there's nothing there. As you can see in this next slide, there's actually 47,000 objects in this model. The only trouble was that 11 of them were about 1,000 kilometres away from the main part of the model. So by being able to identify issues, find out where the problems lie, we're able to actually get access to information that's there. Sometimes it's more having too much information or having too many things to filter and sort for. Here's another case from Solibri where you can see that objects not meeting. And so if we are quantifying volumes and areas and lengths from models, you can see that in a case like this, it may appear in 2D to be fully formed, but the quantities as reporting would not be correct. So we use Solibri to actually find model imperfections, issues that, with models that we get. Also, we have not just clashes, but also where there are duplicate objects. So in a case like this, there are actually objects inside objects. So it's not easy to actually identify that, but when you look at it visually, you see no problems, but Solibri will actually identify geometry inside geometry. In a case like this, you can see that sometimes the BIM tool that's been used to create these objects is maybe not the most appropriate one. In a case like this, you can see that a thing that looks like a column has actually been created by using a wall tool. It's meant to be something like a 150 by 150 wall. It may be made from concrete block, which is similar to a lot of the other concrete block walls, but the rate for this object would be far higher because it's actually a standalone object. So Solibri will identify things which don't appear to be, to actually make sense. Again, here you can see where Solibri will find intersections of objects. And for us, being able to derive high quality quantification from models, issues like this give inaccurate readings. In Solibri, we also have a chance of being able to sort through data. And here is just a way of being able to break up a model to match the way QSs see the world. So in a case like this, I've been able to rearrange the data so that it actually appears in an elemental breakup. And one useful thing of this, in the next slide you can see where we can actually view models by elements by colour. So we can identify things and report back to cost indices. Mitchell Brandtman have about 40 years worth of cost indices, which are connected over time, and so that this helps to be able to identify the most appropriate cost rates to use on projects. And as you can see here, this is just one element, the substructure element, and so we can check to make sure that things are in the correct location and defined properly. Also, in being able to use data well in a collaboration sense, here is an example from Sunshine Coast University Hospital. This model here was of the interior of the structure, and we were able to do a revision of the structure on the day that it went out to tender. A 180,000 square metre project, concrete structure models, and as you can see there, the yellow is the elements that have been revised, the blue, the things that haven't changed, the new are in green, and the red have been deleted. So very quickly we can identify what has changed, and so that the mapping allows us to give an updated cost quite quickly. So in this spreadsheet that is the output from that, it will give a variation report. So if the mapping is done correctly, which is has been done using much earlier models, we can get this report out very rapidly, so we can give up-to-date cost information. So again, having data arranged well for collaboration is quite important. In this next slide, it's an image from Costex, and this was from, again, the Sunshine Coast University Hospital. We were asked to provide trade packages of the concrete structure, so that was formwork, concrete, reinforcing and post-tensioning. The advantage that Lend-Lease found was that when we were able to provide a Costex viewer file, the subcontractors could actually select the element or the line item in the trade package on the left-hand side, and it would identify the geometry that it was connected to, so that they had much more certainty about the information that they were tendering on. So by being able to use information this way, was able to de-risk the project. We've also been doing some development work using other file formats, and so we've been talking to people in the techless space. Here is an image of the reinforcing that is actually within precast concrete elements. So when the precast concrete elements are drawn and then the reinforcing is shown, all the lifting bars, all the other connections are shown. When we export this out, we can quantify it. And so being able to do this well means that we can solve quite a lot of problems that have been known to occur in the past when it comes to rebar. So this will happen in situ concrete, and also we can get accuracy in precast as well. We've also been doing some work with connecting not just 3D and 5D information together, the geometry and the cost, but also with the time component, commonly called 4D. So by doing this, by linking the geometry and the cost and the time, we can then start to work out cash flow predictions. We can then track cash flow actual as well, because part of the work that we carry on at Mitchell Brandtman is in supervision work. And also we provide information to financiers so that they're interested in the cost to complete. So in a case like this, where we're able to connect these three lots of data together, there's huge benefits and creating, again, more certainty in the building industry. We've also been doing some work with exports from 12D, and this is for files for external works. So as you can see, there's an image there of some road pavement and pathways, and also the drainage that is connected with that. So by being able to link other file formats together into Costex and having certainty in that helps dramatically as well. So in the few minutes, hopefully I've been able to show you that we at Mitchell Brandtman can see and understand some of the issues involved in this collaboration process. Why would we ever want to go back to using a rotary phone when we have something like a mobile phone which provides so many other possibilities of connecting us and information together? The technology is available now, it's accessible to you, and it provides efficiencies on projects straight away. we now have this integral to the way that Mitchell Brandtman operates, and we can't achieve what we do without using this technology. So hopefully you'll be interested in some of this, so come and speak to us, and thank you for your time.